In case you hadn't noticed, it's a terrible time to be heavily invested in commercial real estate. For 2 years, COVID manic liberals and Democrat politicians destroyed American cities, bullying companies into allowing their workers to sit in their underwear and answer emails in bed. And now bustling cities like New York are only really busy maybe 2-3 days a week, certainly not on Friday and Monday. Commercial real estate is in a very bad place in what could be the catalyst for a larger economic crash likely coming for this debt-ridden country. For decades, former President Trump has been the picture of American commercial real estate success. But currently, Trump's properties, like so many others, have basically halved in value, along with nearly every other commercial building in big blue cities, at least. We told you last night about the Four Seasons in San Francisco, a fully functional hotel being handed back to the bank. Investors just walking away, and this is not the first of these kinds of stories that we have seen. It's insane to think that an investor just hands a building back to a bank, but it is that bad. And we're telling you this because right now the most obnoxious people on the left in this country are spiking the football because former President Trump is struggling to find $500 million for the privilege of appealing Arthur Engoron's insane ruling in New York. This is how they sound.
Donald Trump is finally acknowledging tonight that he does not have the cash that he has long claimed he does.
Donald Trump could be on the verge of being forced to sell his most prized properties.
They have tried to approach about 30 surety companies through 4 separate brokers and cannot get a bond for this amount.
For somebody who brags about his personal wealth as much as he does, who's key to his political appeal is that he can't be bought because he has so much money than everybody else. In this case, what he has more than anybody else is a need for money, quickly and desperately.
The idea that Trump is a billionaire was the original big lie. In fact, it helped make him president. Well, surprise, surprise, it turns out he's not as rich as he claimed to be.
Ah, they're loving this so much. Imagine making fun of somebody for not being liquid enough to cover a $500 million appeals bond. So delusional about Trump, so excited to see a man that they hate so much suffer. That they're oblivious to the damage being done to the entire system by the Democrat Party's useful idiots, and by that I mean these two, people like Letitia James and Arthur Engoron. One thing everybody should know, Arthur Engoron arrived at this ridiculous amount, more than $460 million, via his own calculations. He is a strange bird, as you see here, of the financial benefit that Trump received, he claimed, from attaining lower interest rates from banks after he allegedly overvalued his assets. That's how he came to this number. This is what the Attorney General and the New York legal system are now chasing down and prosecuting, a case this ridiculous, and they expect you to respect them. Now, keep in mind, Deutsche Bank defended Trump in the trial. So Letitia James basically said, even though you're defending Donald Trump, you're still a victim. Trump is a fraud somehow. And even though Deutsche Bank's actuaries agreed and signed off on Trump's loans at the time, they didn't care. This is as despicable as it gets. Arthur Engoron should be disbarred. He is not a judge. And he let somebody as stupid as Tish James run his court and gave her basically everything that she wanted. A woman who only exists, who you only know who she is because of Donald Trump.
I go into my office. I usually sue 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
President Trump cannot avoid justice in the great state of New York. We are prepared to make sure that the judgment is paid to New Yorkers. And yes, I look at 40 Wall Street each and every day.
She's such a humiliation to this country, and she doesn't even know it. And we have normalized this. Something this crazy has been normalized in this country. A recent poll found that half of Americans think Trump is guilty in this New York fraud case. That is the power of this Psyop. That's the power a political movement can have when it takes complete control of the establishment media, and when ABC and CBS and CNN are just out there parroting their talking points. There are, though, some that are trying to wake this country up. Shark Tank investor Kevin O'Leary was on CNN last night, and he lost it, and he kept it very real. Take a listen.
I think that was a statement that would be much better made sometime in Venezuela. I'm not kidding. That's a scary, scary message. And by the way, there are no such thing as $500 million bonds.
The marketplace.
There are no $500 million bonds. Never been done before. Never. This law has never been applied. Forget about Trump. Nothing to do with Trump. Everything to do about America and the New York brand.
That's not some big Trump sycophant either. The point was made. This Get Trump grift is doing far more damage, doing untold damage to this country's reputation, to its functionality, to its future. Our former president, the leading candidate for the White House in the next election, has 5 days now to find $500 million in cash, with a portfolio of assets that are valued at about half of what they were 5 years ago. Many likely already leveraged to some extent. Without the cash, he can't appeal and would be forced to fire sale some assets to sharks out there who know that he is desperate. That, or Letitia James says she's going to start seizing his assets, a process based on New York's assessments of what they're worth. So what, Mar-a-Lago is really only worth $18 million when they steal it from him? They can take all of it. Here's a video I shot myself, my favorite golf course. This is Trump, Los Angeles. That's close to 100 acres on the Pacific Ocean. I used to play here all the time when I lived out there. It's probably the most beautiful golf course I've ever seen. Tish James will probably say it's worth $4 million, and she's going to try and take everything he has to get to $463 million. And we're going to get to watch Tish James, the picture of our humiliating American decline, waddle herself into Trump Tower surrounded by a giggling media. She'll walk up to the podium and start gloating and screaming about protecting democracy while commandeering a former president's private property.